I went to, hey Carly, I went to speak at a local school about stress and anxiety, and I think it went really well. I'm getting less nervous, potentially better at speaking. Hey Allie and Jennifer and Sophie. Whoop whoop. It's finally Friday. So anyway, so hence the coffee, because I had to rush out this morning to go practice with the people I was talking with. Hi Leah and Hanny and Hannah. Hanny. It's because I was going to say Sadie and Hannah and turned into Hanny. I apologize. Sarah. Woo woo, there's so many people. Nazanin, Jolene, I'm not sure. Jessica, Heather, Esther, Melanie, Sophie, so many. Amber, Laura, Jennifer, Ibrahim. We have so many people. Is Friday a better day? Because I'm not going to lie. I was like, I'm going to try to do 4 to 5 days a week all November. I don't have time. I'm sorry. So I think I'm going to go back to once a week. But I gave it a trial run. This will be our 3rd live stream this week, right? 3rd or 4th? Is this our 4th? What day is it? What's happening? Hey, everybody. Hey. So anyway, so I went to a school and talked to them about stress and anxiety, and I hope that they learned something. It was kind of interesting for me to even look at what our body does, because that was my role, was to talk about what our brain and body does when we're stressed, and then tell them the difference between stress and anxiety, because a lot of people assume they're the same, but they are not. And so I think it went really well. It's a small private school in Santa Monica, so they were all very respectful. And then I had some come up to me afterwards and thank me, so I think it went well. I always enjoy talking because, you know, I think kids need to hear more about mental health earlier. Can I get an amen? Okay. Oh, it's 7 a.m. here. Whew. Hey, everybody. I know, do you guys like my mug? I was so bummed. So, okay, I got this mug as a gift. And the feet are supposed to, because all of you are Harry Potter fans, I'm assuming. I'm just going to assume that. I'm assuming Kenyon also means Harry Potter fan. We should mush those words together somehow. Thanks, Allie. And so, the Marauders, how did you say it? The Marauders map? It's because I read it and didn't hear it said, really. I haven't watched all the movies. I prefer the books. But the Marauders map, anyway, the feet of people walking you can see on the map, and they light up as they're actually moving. And so this cup, the little feet would light up with hot fluid in them. Well, then I accidentally put it in the dishwasher once, which you're not supposed to do, and now the feet are always lit up. But I still love it. It doesn't make it, I just love it all the same. Yeah, isn't that really cool? And also, I never fill things all the way up to the top, because that's just dangerous for me. And so those ones would never light up, but those would. Anyway, yeah. Harry Potter is awesome. Whoop, whoop. So yeah, today's been busy already, actually, and I'm filming my Patreon videos. I filmed a couple of them before this, and then I'll finish them after. I'm going to have 3 videos this month. So if any of you are in the $20 or above, you'll get to see those, and you get your questions answered, because I asked you all for your questions and everything. Ooh, we're trending, you guys. I just got the notification. Keep giving thumbs up, and I'm capturing moments, and then you can put those onto your social media and let people know.
I'm capturing as many as I can.
Sean is over-capturing, some might say. Okay. I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good. Yes, and that's how you open the map and get it to work for you. So genius. I was actually just messaging with another member on Patreon, and we were talking about how Harry Potter is makes our Muggle lives so disappointing, because I'm like, why can't I just fix that? Or why can't I just apparate? Why can't that happen? And why can't I have that map and say, I'm solemnly swear I'm up to no good? I'm always up to no good. Let's be honest. But Harry Potter makes you really want to, have magical powers and be, a witch, I guess. Do I have to be a witch? I think I'll just call myself a wizard. My phone into a wand? No. Just, Carly, you teach me so many wonderful things. Okay. Oh, that's so cool. Lisa, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. She's waiting for an appointment with her therapist, and she's watching me. How perfect timing. And your therapy appointment is going to be amazing and great. I love the Colorado what's up. I know this may make me sound really old, but you guys know the what's up, think what's up, boop, that song that everybody sings, right? And then you just throw it to different states and cities. I'm old. I apologize. Oh, thanks, Kimmy. She sent me a nice message. Okay, so let's get into some questions, shall we? So the way that today is going to work is I'm going to go through, let's say, 5 questions or so on here. I'll guest someone, and maybe 2 people. So if you want to be a guest hop in there and wait, and then we will hang out for a bit, and then I'll hop over to Patreon, answer a few more questions on that, and come back. So that just gives you a little idea of the structure, because that helps me stay on track. It helps you remind me if I'm off track. Together we can do this, right? We can do it. That was my Halloween costume. Okay, let's start. I may ask, changing a therapist. Can you talk about that? Yes, I can talk about it from my perspective, and I can talk about it from a client's perspective, as I have changed therapists over the years. Wow, that was a mouthful for some reason. So let's start with the clinician. Let's start as a therapist. Oh, hey, Allie C. So as a therapist, the way that it is for me is if you're switching, it's honestly easiest for us on the other side to have notice of it and not just have you not see us ever again. Because the best way I can say it is I want to talk to your therapist that you're switching to. I'm just assuming that you're switching from me to someone else. That's the easiest way for me to talk about it. So if you aren't happy with the therapy, let me know. Again, remember, I'm not going to take anything personal. It's not really about me. It's about the relationship, and it's about you finding the best fit for you. And I find that people, oh, thanks, Carolyn. I find that people worry about that a lot, and that stops them from telling their therapist that they're not happy, or that something's not working, or they're not getting better. But it's not about us. I don't have any ego about what I do, and I don't ever take it personal. It's not really about me. It's like, you need to find the best fit, right? So don't hesitate to tell your therapist that it's not working, or you don't like that, or whatever. The sooner you can let them know, the better. Okay? So that's in place. Then that also allows me to refer you or give you a list of people, so you're not just blindly trying to find another therapist. And you can let me know what things you're looking for, and that can guide you a little more quickly as well. Okay? And then once you find the other therapist, you can call me or text me or email me, and I can have you sign a little release of authorization. And then I can talk to your therapist, the one that you're moving in to work with, so that you don't have to keep telling all the same shit over and over. And that saves you a lot of time. Thanks, Sophie. So that's my side of it, switching therapists. From your side, if you're the client and you're switching, be patient with yourself. It's really uncomfortable. First of all, like I said, it's really hard to stop seeing the first one, but if you're forced, if they're retiring, like I had said in the last live stream, my therapist, Rebecca, for a long time retired not long after my dad passed away, and through all of his sickness and stuff, she was there for me. So it was really hard. It was a hard transition, and I felt kind of abandoned. Even though she didn't abandon me, I just felt like, oh my God, I don't have her, and what am I supposed to do? And so it takes time to build that relationship up again. And I think being patient with that process, even though it can feel like we're starting over from square one, that's why it's important for your other therapist to talk to your new therapist. So Rebecca talked to my dude that I was seeing for a little while. I think his name was David, but I don't remember. I didn't see him for very long because I didn't really like him. And then I put Rebecca in touch with my therapist now, Jana, so they can talk about me, for better or for worse, so that I don't feel like I have to keep sharing things and telling it over and over. And then just patient with the process, okay? I hope that helps. I know a lot of people ask questions about that, so I just wanted to go into a little more depth because I get questions about that, honestly, every day. Okay, hope that helps. Okay, I think somebody asked if I'm drunk, but this is just coffee. That's all. Okay, Hannah's asking, how do you deal with death and grief? In all honesty, death and grief is really difficult. I'll have a video coming out. Will I? Yes. This Monday, another video will be coming out about something like that. Spoilers. So make sure you're subscribed and that your notifications are on. But dealing with death and grief is tricky. So, there are those 5 steps, 5 stages of grief or whatever. I forget what her name is that says them, but a lot of people don't agree with her, and they're like, it's not the 5 stages, and they don't go in order like that. But I do believe those 5 stages actually exist. And I know a lot of people argue against that, but they do. But they may be in a completely different order. But for me, when my dad passed away, the first thing I was actually really angry. And I think that really surprised me. And I went to a lot of therapy. And I didn't actually find a group that I liked at the time, but there are a lot of grief and grieving groups, especially in hospitals and hospices. They offer those, so hop into those. Those are great. Find a therapist, talk to them, and then know that your grief can come and go. Sometimes things will be totally fine and I'll be doing great, and then you stumble across something that brings that up for you, and then you cry. And that's okay. Know that grief is something that comes and goes. It's okay. And just giving yourself the time to process it, being process it and being able to remember all the nice times. And it's just give yourself time. Be patient, okay? Okie dokie. Oh, thanks, Jenny G. Whoop, whoop. Now let me look for other questions and then I'm going to guess someone. Are we ready? I hope you're ready. Okay, Sophie Joe asks, do you have any tips on, why does it, I got to control the scroll, you guys. Where is Sophie Joe? There. Have any tips on managing anxiety at work and leaving my desk and get in trouble from? I keep leaving my desk and I get in trouble from it. If you can't leave your desk, I don't know. I don't know what your situation is, so I'm going to do my best. But there are things that I would put in place, like rituals that I would do before I go to work, like meditating in the morning using the Headspace app or listening to some calming music. Carly actually sent me a playlist a long time ago that was like her meditation playlist, and it was really awesome. So you can look on YouTube. They have a ton of meditation things and stuff like that. So I would check that out. Those are really helpful. And listening to those. And if you can, I would talk to your supervisor or whoever's getting you, like saying that you can't leave your desk, and let them know that sometimes you're struggling with anxiety and you're working on it, but every once in a while you might put a earbud in because you listen to calming music and it helps keep you soothed. It's okay to let them know as long as they can, oh, thanks, Jasmine. Sometimes if you let them know, then they'll allow you to do some things that help you. And keeping putty at your desk is good. If you can have relaxing music on just in general, maybe they'll allow that. Anything like that, give it a try, okay? I know employers aren't very understanding, but if you can every state and country is going to be different, but there are rules and laws to protect you. And so if we go through the proper channels, like talking to HR, oh, thanks, Heather. If we talk to HR, if we go through our therapist, have them write us a letter, if we get any kind of disability stuff going, then there's all sorts of acts and laws and stuff that can protect us. So make sure you do your research if they're still being rude and they're not respecting you, because it's actually discrimination and it's against the law. So talk to them and, yeah, who is that Celeste person? Please stop spamming. It's too much. Okay. Am I going to do a grounding video? Yes, Jennifer, I will. It'll probably be something I film in my next few sessions, and I'll get it out as soon as possible. Thanks, Allie C. Okay, one more question, and then I'm going to guess someone. Are you ready? And then I'm going to hop over to Patreon. Let me open that up really quick here because it takes me 1 second. Okay. Okay. Anna K has a good question. She says, what's the difference between intrusive thoughts and flashbacks in trauma? Flashbacks are truthfully what it feels like we're back in the traumatic situation. It's happening all over again. We feel it in our body. It's running through in our mind. We see the images of it like we're watching a movie. Thanks, Heather Michelle Daniels. That was so sweet. And so all of those, it just feels like we're back there. Okay? Then the difference is intrusive thoughts can be anything. They're not always about a trauma. They're usually like if you watch my video about intrusive thoughts, if you want more information on this, but intrusive thoughts tend to be more just violent or sexual in nature. And I know that sounds really weird, but it's the truth, and people have a lot of judgment about it, and then they worry about it. What are you doing over there? Sean is wiggling on his chair like...
I'm trying to get to lean forward.
It's a party already, you guys, and it's only 1:16. Yeah, it's a party, Sean. But anyway, that's the difference. So flashbacks have to do with the trauma itself. Intrusive thoughts are not related to trauma specifically. They can be anything, and they pop in for no reason at all. Thanks, Jenny G. You guys are so generous and so sweet. Okay, and everybody, I'll get into Patreon. Some of you are asking about those. I'll get into those after I guess someone, and that's what I'm doing now. Is Wasley Wabbit here? Thanks, Jennifer. Be your guest. Be your guest. Okay. Going to go with waiting longest. Arasha, are you ready? I might be saying that wrong, but that's how it looks to me. Are you ready to be guested? We'll see if we can get, it looks like a he. Hi, how are you?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, is our connection not good? Can you hear me okay, Arasha? Or Arash? Are you there?
The video is good.
Yeah, the video is so clear.
Hello?
Yes, I hear you. Can you hear me okay? I have my volume all up and... Can you hear me? No? Well, try again. I'll look for your name, Arash. If you want to get in, try again, or you can ask your question in the chat, okay? Had such great feed. I thought it would be fine. Okay, Heather G, we're going to put you up. It looks like you've been waiting, or no, Heather R. Sorry, it's from Great Britain, GB. I promise I can read. Hi, Heather, how are you? Hello? Can you hear me? You realize that you're on? Yeah? No? You have a question? Hello? Okay. We're going to try one more person, and then I'm going to go to Patreon. Try to be on a good connection on a laptop. I know phones tend to be like, and that's not good for any of us. Okay. Steph, are you ready, Steph B? Let's try.
Third time's a charm.
Yep. Whoop, whoop. Sean is right. Third time's a charm.
Hello? Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me? Yes.
Hear me.
Oh, I can hear you a little bit.
I think it's a cell phone.
Is your service
Can
not
you hear
very
me?
on Wi-Fi?
Hear you.
Oh, it's really cutting out.
So
Is there a way to get to a better connection?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me or not?
I can hear you. Yes. Oh, let's try again, Steph, when you have a better connection. Okay.
Hear me? Oh, that's good. Imagine.
Okay. Okay.
So Carly's saying that when people have their headphones plugged in,
Uh-huh.
then they're having a hard time hearing you. So they don't know whether. So just people need to have their headphones off.
Oh, no headphones.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, you guys, if you want to guest and you're waiting, have your headphones off. We think that might be a possible fix. Also, Wi-Fi is ideal, even if you can connect straight into the internet, old school style. Also very good. Okay, I'm going to go to Patreon and answer a few questions over there. I'm trying to keep on schedule. But I will come back and we'll try to guest again. So if you're wanting to guest, hang in there. I'll be right over. Okay, I'm in so many live streams. And okay, this was a good question. This has actually been lingering for 2 days. Michelle on Patreon asked, do you think people can fully recover from self-harm or eating disorders? Are they just something that we have to learn to manage but will always be a part of us? I thought this was a really good question. And in truth, if we actually work on it, it does fully go away. Oh, thanks, Heather Michelle. I have people in my life because I worked in an inpatient treatment center and a lot of the clinicians there had eating disorders themselves. As many of you know, I didn't have an eating disorder myself, but I had some good friends that did. And I obviously got a lot of training in that area, I guess. It is something that we can completely have go away. However, something that you will notice is even when you're recovered and you're working on your recovery, when things get really, really rough, you may find yourself engaging in certain behaviors, not necessarily directly self-harm or eating disorder related, like wanting to harm yourself or purge or any of that, but you may find that you start working out more, or you start watching what you eat more, or start eating more. And so it's almost like we do it innately and we don't realize it. And so that's usually a clue. Like some of my friends who struggled back when they were in their early 20s and then worked on their recovery and are, now fully recovered, will say that like, oh, during my wedding planning or during my test studying for my exam, for my licensing exam, I found myself doing XYZ. And so I had to get back into the journaling and I had to get back into therapy. And so I think that just being aware of your situation, your stress level, just like any person, like I notice when I'm doing poorly and I'm feeling maxed out and I get in to see my therapist, or I take a break, right? Like I take a weekend completely off and you don't see me on Snapchat that much. And it's just because I need time, right? We all need to have a life and have some time to ourselves, and recognizing when you need that, I think is really important. Okay. Ooh, 100 days clean, Nicole. Congratulations. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, yeah. Kimmy, you do need to get a webcam. Then you can be a guest. Okay, I'm going to try to guest someone else, and then I'll go back over to Patreon.
Wait, before you do
Huh?
that, maybe just ask who has a good connection. And
Yeah, who has a good connection? If anybody wants to let me know in the chat, and who doesn't have their headphones in, then I can guest you. So let me know. Okay. Hold on, I'm going to get some water, you guys. Sorry, it's hiding over here so I don't spill it on the computer like a goofball. Okay. Lauren asked on Patreon, I'm just going over there for a second, said, do grounding techniques still work if shutting down and dissociation are automatic and you don't really feel in control of them? They actually, this kind of comes in line with like what I'm talking about when I say that if your anxiety is so bad you can't try any behavioral techniques. Well, if your dissociation is so bad that you can't even use grounding techniques, then that's honestly where medication comes in play. And I know that that sounds terrible and a lot of you don't want it, and I always mention that because I want to respect everyone's thoughts on it, but if we can't do anything about it and we don't know when it starts and boom, it takes over, then that's where medication, that's why we have medication. I don't believe that we always need to be on medication for every case, but sometimes we might need it for a short period of time so that we can figure out what our triggers are, get an idea of where it's coming from and where it starts, and then we can work on it. Okay? Okay. Oh, okay, Danny Haas. Sorry, I'm putting my stuff. Okay, A Girl Unknown and Danny Haas. I'm coming to you. Are you ready? Here you come. Be our guest. Be our guest. This is Danny. I hope I'm saying it right. Donnie, Danny.
Hi.
Hi, yay, good connection. Da, da, da.
I actually have two questions. One is a little bit of a shorter one, and one's actually a little longer.
Okay.
So I have an anxiety disorder, GAD. And this week was a little bit of a tough week for me. I've never had a full-blown panic attack, but I've had like mild panic attacks. And this week I had like one mild panic attack and 2 times where I was very close, and this has definitely been the most frequent. It's happened in a week. Is that like some red flag or something that I should be aware of?
I think it is a little of a red flag because it's a couple things. It usually means that we need a little more support and we maybe need a little, like a few more skills or need to see our therapist again because things are getting bad. And it doesn't mean they're going to continue to be bad, but we all go through fluctuations, right? Where things all of a sudden are terrible or more stressful, or we have deadlines, or we have a test or whatever. And so I would look for some more support or maybe an increase in medication if you're on any for a short period of time until you feel like you're in better control of it.
Okay.
Cool.
And my second question is, I have a friend who has had an issue with another friend and is self-harming. She's been scratching herself, and I've talked to her a few times, like, why don't you see a school counselor, tell your parents? She refuses to tell her parents, refuses to tell a counselor, and I've told her I feel like as a friend I've done everything I could to help her out. So at this point, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do. At one point, I actually had to call her parents because it got so bad, and I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of saying to myself, you may need to do that again. So I'm not really sure exactly what to do because I want to help her, but especially for me, when I'm dealing with all this anxiety and everything, it's putting a lot of extra stress on me. And she told me, well, it stresses me out too when, you know, you tell me about your anxiety and etc. And I said, yes, but I'm getting the help that I need, and I feel like that would be a good step for you. But she refuses. So I'm really not sure what to do.
You've kind of done all you're supposed to do. And I know it's hard. This is something I hear from a lot of people, so know that you're not alone in this. And it's, you know, it shows you're a good person. You want her to be doing well. It hurts you to see her hurting. You don't like it. And I totally hear that. But unfortunately, we can't force people to get the help that they want. And so really, all we can do is be there, support them as much as we can, and encourage them to get help. And if it becomes too much for you, at that point, it's healthiest for you to say, you know, to put boundaries up with them and like, oh, I don't think I can see you right now. I'm having a hard time myself, so I just need to focus on me. You know, I'll reach out when I feel better. And that's okay because you have to take care of you first. And otherwise, we can't help anybody, right? And I know it sucks and it's hard, but if you do ever worry that she's going to hurt herself or attempt suicide, you can call her parents. I think that's completely okay. And she may be mad in the moment, but she might thank you later.
Yeah,
so,
like recently she did Relapse, and she said I was doing great, but now I just fell back in slope. And I remember I was actually on text with her once for I don't even know how long, just trying to help her and explain to her and say to her, I care about you, I really do, but this is kind of getting to a point where it's crossing the line. And I have told her sometimes, I can't talk right now, I'm having an attack, or I'm having really a hard time, so I need some space.
Yeah, exactly. And that's good. That's good. Yay! Healthy boundaries. But yeah, I know it sucks, but you know, Danny, you've done everything you can, and you're a great friend. But at this point, she has to help herself, because unfortunately, we can't force people to want to get better, right? Like you had to make that choice for yourself, and she has to do the same.
Yeah.
But you've done a great job.
Yeah. And thank you for all the videos you put out. I've actually just recently noticed you, and I love your
yay!
Thank you.
Well, welcome. Yeah, of course. I'm glad you found me.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend, sweetie.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye.
That was awesome. Great connection.
That was a perfect connection, Danny. Yay! So quick and easy. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Oh, and I wanted to thank Jasmine and Allie for your tips I saw. Thank you so much. I don't want to talk over someone when they're telling me things, so I like to, you know, wait till after, but I tried to lock it away, and I hope I remembered all of the names. Yeah, down with the headphones. Carly was right. If they have a good connection and no headphones, we're good to go. Thanks, Jennifer A. Okay, so I'm getting back to Patreon real quick. We're jumping around. And let me see. I want to make sure I've gotten through everybody's questions. Okay. The question from JJ95 says, I feel like I need inpatient treatment, but I'm guilty about leaving my pets for the days that I'll be away. I know this sounds stupid, but it gets me so nervous. I know my mom would take care of them for me, but I feel like I'm almost abandoning them in a way. That's probably not even rational. I also feel ashamed of needing inpatient. How can I overcome those fears and worries? My guess would be that it's the ashamed feeling that we're getting about needing inpatient that is causing us to create different excuses. And I know excuses sounds harsh, but honestly, in some ways, as bad as it sounds, you guys, our depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-harm, whatever, will do anything to keep us stuck. And I don't know why that is, but it's like when we're feeling really depressed, we can only see bad things, right? Even if something good happens, we like negate it immediately. But all the bad stuff, we're like, yeah, that's all true. And I don't know why that is, but that's just the way our brain is wired, almost like it's used to it. I don't know if anybody knows, but back in the day, I think it was my schizophrenia video, I talk about how our brain is like a balloon filled with sand. And as we make connections between like something bad happens and I feel like shit, our brain gets more and more used to that happening. And it's hard for us to jump out of that rut we've caused in that sand. Does anybody remember that? I'm not doing a very good job of describing it. But if you watch that video, you know what I mean. Ooh, there's a fruit fly flying around here. I had a banana that went a little black, so I got fruit flies. Thanks, Heather. Whoop, whoop. So, to get back to Jennifer's question, or no, JJ95, how do we get over those fears and worries, especially with the animals? I think it sounds like you already have, oh, thanks, Heather and Michelle. It sounds like you already have someone like your mom can take care of them. And I think we need to think of your pets as your friends and other people in your life. And we can't care for others unless we care for ourselves first. And we're not going to be the best pet mom if we're not feeling well, right? I have clients who struggle to walk their dog because they're feeling so depressed, it's hard to get out of the house. And so we have to take care of ourselves so that we can take care of other people and beings, okay? And to get over the fear and the shame and the worry of going inpatient, just know that everybody needs a different level of support, and it doesn't make anything worse or better, doesn't make you worse or better for getting that help. We have to have people meet us where we're at, and there's no shame in figuring out what that is or trying something and realizing that's not enough. It's like when my dad passed away, I needed 2 sessions a week from my therapist. I usually went once a week or once every other week, but I was in a time of crisis. I was having a really hard time, and that's okay. I needed to find what fit me and what helped me most, and that's okay. Otherwise, we're just going to get worse, right? And we're not reaching out for help just for shits and giggles. We're reaching out for help so we can get better. So get the level of help that you need. Know that it'll be okay. It's completely okay to need more help, and your animals will be okay, and you'll be such a better pet mom when you get home, okay? Let's guess someone. Let's try it again because we tried so many and it wasn't working. Okay, who has a good connection? I know there was another person who told me. Of course, Jennifer, of course. Answered her question. Thanks, Leah Bartlett. Okay, somebody has Emma Cupcake. Oh, I recognize that name. I'm going to try to find you if you have a good connection. Oh my God, so many people. I love it. Okay, let's try. Who has a good connection? Thanks, Jennifer. Okay. Oh, insecure mess, you're not late to the party? The party's still going.
Only half.
Okay. Okay. Fabian, I'm going to try. Are you ready? We'll try to be our guest. Be our guest. Are you there?
Oh, don't please work.
I hear you.
I think it's my connection.
Oh, is it not very good? Can you get closer to the router, maybe? Oh, I hear you.
Work.
It looks like it's...
Not gonna work.
Oh, you can hear him.
Yeah, I can hear you.
My laptop is a pile of shit.
I can hear you. Do you want to try to ask your question? Oh, I'll come back to you, Fabs. Let's try again, okay? I don't mean to laugh. It just cracked me up when he was like, my laptop is a pile of shit. We've all felt that way sometime, right? Okay. Let's see. We're going to try some people. I know that Heather said that she wants to try again. And Arasha, Arash, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. You said you couldn't see my actual video when you got on. I don't know when you guessed. I don't know if it shows you just you or if it shows me as well. That's a really good question, you guys. I don't know if those of you who guessed it, you can let us know if that's normal. Okay, I'm going to try.
Ooh, there's 218 people here.
Ooh, we got
170 in YouTube.
Ooh, we got lots of people watching, you guys. Okay, Katie, mate, we're going to try you. And then we'll get back in the chat and I'm going to answer more questions, okay?
You're number 3 on top broadcasters.
Ooh, we're number 3. We're number 3. I wish it was number 1, but that number 3 is fine with me. Ooh, it rhymes. Number 3 is fine with me. Yes, we can definitely try again, Arash. I'll come over. Oh, hi, Katie, mate.
Hi.
Hi. I think you can take your headphones out if it's okay. Then we can usually
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh. Oh. You there? I can hear you. I see you.
Talk if you can hear.
Can
Yeah,
you hear me?
just keep talking to me. Uh-huh. Oh.
Okay. It's kind of a question. Like, I don't know if it's a thing or not, but I really struggle like processing like normal events, like not like everyday events, but like things that happen kind of like an emotional conversation. And I don't know, I've got PTSD, so I'm quite impulsive, and like I do things, and afterwards I can't stop thinking about them.
Like you just can't stop the thoughts, like the rumination about it, and like...
Yeah, I don't know, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. It sounds, and let me know if I'm getting it right, because it's a little choppy, like the connection. It sounds like you struggle when just daily things happen, not your everyday things, but let's say there's like something that's a little bit stressful, or like you said, an emotional conversation, or maybe I didn't get a good grade on a test, or something happened at work. It's really hard for you to come out of it. And like you keep thinking about it. Is that what your problem is? Yeah. Okay. So I think to be truthful, a lot of that has to do with like thought stopping. Do you feel like the thoughts just come and you stress and worry about them over and over and over? Oh, it froze. Okay. Katie, let me know if it's, let me know if I'm... Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So something that you can do, and this is a great tool for everybody, and something that helps even me and my friends, is in order to thought stop, we actually just need to, I'm going to say just, but I know it's difficult. We just need to take our brain away from the thoughts that we're stuck on for 30 seconds. And I know that seems like a really long time, and you can start with 10 and work your way up. But if you can pull it, I always tell my clients to come up with one of their favorite memories, a favorite story, a favorite vacation, a favorite experience with a friend. You may have to dig deep for it, but try to come up with a favorite story and keep retelling yourself that story. And try to tell that.
Okay.
Ooh. What, Katie?
Okay. It's fine.
Oh, it's cutting out. If you want to put it in chat, you can. I don't know if you can do that while you're on. But you can put it in chat too. But if we can hold our thought for 30 seconds, it'll change the whole train of thought and we can get out of that like cycle. So give it a try and see if it helps. Let us know how it's going, because try for 10 seconds, like I said, and start building from there, like 5 seconds at a time until you get to 30, and see if that helps you get out of the like worrying about it and thinking through it. But let me know in the comments, because I know that it's kind of cutting out. Let me know if I answered your question or not, if you have more things, okay? Because I'm sorry that I can't. Yeah, of course. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're able to get on. Okay. Oh, Michelle Lake, you're not old. Age is just a number, right? That's what I keep telling myself. Another birthday passed. Okay. I'm going to answer some more of your questions, and then I'll guest another one of you, and I'll try again with you, Arash. Arash will be up next, okay? So make sure you're hanging in there. We'll try one more time. Oh, Alexis Page. I do accept. So romantic. Oh, you turned 30 last week. Emma, how exciting. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, to be 30. I'm only 33. Age is a number. Okay. Michaela's saying, how do you decide if you should go to the hospital over work and school? That's a good question. I know a lot of people worry about taking, is the connection okay for you guys? Because it just froze on me for a second, but I want to make sure it's okay. Let me know, as always. Knowing that you need to get a higher level of care, I actually just had a video come out about that, like how do I know if I need more care? And the truth of it is, if we need to take a break from work or school, we need to do so when we just can't manage our life and we keep getting worse. And I know that sometimes that's hard to notice, but if you're struggling to fight the urges to use self-injury or eating disorders, and you find yourself losing weight, gaining weight, or cutting more frequently or burning more frequently, or whatever you do to self-injure, if you're doing that more frequently, or if your depression's getting so bad it's really hard to get out of bed, it's really hard to shower, it's really hard to participate. If anything is getting worse and it's taking up more and more of your time in your brain space, it's time that we get more help and we go to the hospital, or we go, I know, number 57 top broadcasters, yay. So keep that in mind, that if things are getting worse, then we just need more help. And there's no shame in that. It's just, like I said, meeting us where we are. Like I was talking about before, we need to have people meet us where we are. And everybody needs different levels of care at different times. Thanks, Allie C. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. Somebody says, can you explain purging in a disordered eating versus eating disorder context? Canadian chick. The purging should honestly never happen. I know that sounds crazy and wild, but I should never force myself to throw up. The only reasons that I should ever force myself to throw up is if I think I ate something that's poisonous. Like, for instance, I'm going to do a shout out to my mom here.
I knew you were going
I love my mom. I wish she could be on right now, but she works. She still works. Hope Larry's watching. My mom's boyfriend. So anyway, my mom woke up in the middle of the night and thought she forgot to take her thyroid medication. Or I don't know, I think it was a thyroid medication. Maybe it was her blood pressure. Now you know my mom has 2 medications she's on. But either way, she's going to take her medicine because she's like, shit, I forgot. Woke up at 2 a.m. to go pee and was like, oh, I'll take my medicine. Well, it was dark. She didn't turn the light on. And then she took her medicine and then was like, oh my God, I think I took the wrong one. I already took that medicine. Am I poisoning myself? Then she tried to call poison control, tried to make herself throw up. It would have been the funniest video of all time. Turns out, couldn't poison herself. Got a hold of poison control after having a real hard time with her brand new iPhone. The iPhone started playing because she told Siri to call poison control, and it started playing some song from U2. You guys, my mom, that was my favorite story of all time, I think, right now. But anyway, so she thought that she was poisoning herself. She wasn't, and so she tried to throw up. So I say all of that and share my hilarious mom story with you to know that that's one of the reasons that you should try to make yourself throw up. You think you poisoned yourself on accident. And I know that people, when they're over drinking and, they're like binge drinking in college, will say that they made themselves throw up. Does that mean they're bulimic? No, but we should never do anything that we need to force ourselves to puke. Like that shouldn't be part of our life. And that's part of an eating disorder. If we're compensating by overeating, by purging, then talk to someone. It's okay. Eating disorders are very common. They estimate 30 million people in the U.S. weird, or that anything's wrong with you. We just need to get you some extra support. Okay? Now,
if you go to level in your sorting.
I'm going into Patreon. Sean's trying to run the show, but he doesn't realize I'm running the
I
show.
was just letting you know if you're looking for it.
Yeah, I know, baby. I know. Okay. Now, Kimmy says, Katie, do you have any videos on how our mental health is affected by periods and that time of the month? I'm struggling with it and not sure how to approach it with my doctor next week when I see them. Yes, I actually have, and in all truth, these aren't my favorite videos. I did some videos for YouTube's women's production program, and it didn't turn out the way they forced it to be very sexist and splitting the genders, and that, you know, that's not how I really operate. I know many of you have expressed that in the comments, and you are free to express it. I agree. That's why I approve them. I think that it should have been more like, because it was all generalizations and, you know, taking all the statistics and saying this is what generally happens. And so I understand those videos kind of suck. But I do have a video, Kimmy, about PMS and PMDD and how we manage that, because there are hormonal changes that happen every month and everyone's different, and you need to know what is actually normal for you and what lies outside of that. And there are bunches of things. Oh, thank you, Insecure Mess. Whoop, whoop. There are things that we can do, whether it's medication, whether it's diet and exercise, whether it's going on, like I have a client who goes on a medication for like 3 days right before her period, and that just curbs her PMDD. And I have another patient who started a whole antidepressant for, you know, every day. Thanks, Heather Michelle. Whoop. To help her with that. But there are a lot of things we can do. And check out my videos about PMS and PMDD. That's one of them. And then I have a video about I think it's with Hannah. It's one of my ones with Hannah where it's like mental health and genders or something like that. Check that one out too, because we talk about it in there a lot. And those will be really, really helpful to help you better understand yourself and what help you can get for yourself. Okay? Now, let's see. Okay. Now, Siobhan's asked, hey, Katie, do you think suicide is a choice or as a result of mental illness? For example, I wouldn't choose to have suicidal thoughts, but I get told that it's a choice. This is a great question. This is potentially one that we could do for a video, not just live stream. Let me know if you think so. The truth of it is that suicide, people could, or I can see both sides. Suicide could be seen as a choice because we actually have to make the choice to do it. And there's a lot of planning that's usually involved. It's not, in my experience with clients of mine that have attempted, it's not something that's usually really impulsive. There's usually a lot of stuff that's been going on behind the scenes. And obviously that's because they're seeing me as well. And so I'm checking in with them and we're talking about it. And so it's something that they plan a little bit more. And so I would say that in that case, it is a choice. The actual act of it is a choice. However, I know that for people who do feel suicidal, they feel as if they have no choice and they feel extremely hopeless. And so I think those are the parts that we need to understand, both as people who have others in our lives who may be struggling and struggling ourselves, and as clinicians, as therapists and psychiatrists and psychologists. We need to understand that there's a choice that is made, but at the time it doesn't feel like a choice to the person who's struggling. And so I think the thing that we need to do if we are struggling, oh, thanks, Cynthia. The thing that we need to do, I'll do a full video. Okay, cool. I'll do a full video because, yeah, I'll get into it more then. Stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube and have your notifications on. Sean's going to write it down for me. Are you ready? Is suicide a choice or a result of mental illness? And then just write Siobhan Patreon. I'll find it.
Siobhan.
H-A-N. Yep. Woo, woo. Okay.
It's pronounced Siobhan. Like,
that's what I said, Siobhan.
Yeah, with a V?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that's interesting. I think it's Irish.
It's something you've had friends that are like that.
Yeah.
In Montreal. Okay, let's see.
It's on the whiteboard.
I'm going to guess someone. Are you guys ready? Who's been waiting the longest? Casey, are you ready? We're going to try to guess Casey. Casey's from the States. I'm going to get some water. I think I'm shouting today, you guys. I'm sorry. I'll try to talk more quietly.
Hi.
Hi, Casey. How's it going? I'm going to set my water down.
Good, how are you?
Good. So what's your question?
I just started this really intensive counseling, and I already ended up back in the hospital, and they keep trying to put me back in there for no reason, and I feel like I'm already in such intensive counseling, I don't need to be in there. I just don't know how to convince them that I'm not going to hurt myself.
It's cutting out a little bit, so let me make sure I'm hearing you. So You were in a really intensive treatment for self-injury?
Yeah.
Oh no, we're losing you. Casey, come back. It's frozen, sweetie. Do you want to ask your question in the chat? Damn it. Damn the connection. Is it coming back? Oh no. Oh no. Casey, ask your question in the chat if you can, and I'll look for it, okay? I don't know why it'll be good and then it's bad. I'm like, explain this. Okay. Okay, you guys, I'm looking. Let's try to guess somebody else. Emma D, do you have a good connection? Oh, and I said Arash would be next. I'm sorry, Arash, I didn't forget. Just forgot for a second. Why is it not showing him?
Do you go into sorting by level?
I did.
It's near the bottom.
It won't even let me scroll down. It's so weird.
Do you want to try jumping to this computer to broadcast?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Arash, I'm looking for you. It doesn't show you for some reason. Ah, okay. It came unfrozen. I had to just click out. Okay, I'm looking for you. Okay, you ready? And I don't know if it's Arash or Arasha. You let me know once we get you connected.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can't see your video. I don't know if I am on or not, but I can see your part. Your part is black yet. It's loading. So I guess
You're good.
I guess I'm gonna ask my question even though I don't hear you or I don't see you, because that seems the best way, because a connection doesn't seem to work. Okay. So my question, you mentioned this yesterday, that about the emotional charge that some certain events and traumas have over us, and I wanted to, of course, this is a very sensitive topic, but okay, I'm here to ask it anyway. The thing is that when I was born in Iran, and I was not a believer, and in that country, it's not accepted and it's punished by execution. So I had a lot of traumas, and I had a lot of problems. But 4 years ago, already left, and I recovered from depression and all those difficulties I used to have in the past. However, I still feel that I'm not fully over it. Even so, I never feel that I missed anything about that country, whether it's language, anything. But I feel that it has a still emotional charge. For example, if somebody wants to call me or tell me, oh, you are from that country, you are Iranian or something like that, or even when I hear that language, it's kind of anger and depression or whatever is kind of arises. I get triggered. So even though I still don't hear you or see you, but I guess that's what I wanted to say. So how can I work with that, and how can can I help myself to get over this, and so that in the future I will be neutral, like somebody talking about any other country. That country was never special and will never be special, but I don't want to get emotional every time something related to it comes up. And that's the question, because of course I'm thankful for all those difficulties, because as a result of that I found that I want to become a psychologist. Without those difficulties I would never found that I want to become a psychologist. So, and one last question before I go, because I don't know if I can ask another question, but I am going to ask it because I don't hear you or I don't see you.
I know.
My other
I know.
question will be that how can I, as a psychologist in the future, when I want to counsel people and have therapy and all this, how can I touch more people? Because one-on-one, how many people per day? Maximum 8, probably. If I say I work 8 hours and 1 hour for each, 8 people. Do you one way, of course, like you have live videos, but how can somebody as a therapist touch more people, try to help more people? Thanks.
Okay.
That's all my questions I have for the moment. So
Okay. I dropped you, Arash, so hopefully you can hear me and see me now. Maybe let us know in the comments in the chat so I know that you can hear. And I don't know why that was happening, but thank you for being so brave to talk about that and to ask the question. And okay, so let's start off at the beginning. So the first portion is kind of how do we work through our past trauma? Because like you were saying, you still definitely have an emotional charge attached to even hearing the language, people talking about that country or talking about things like that. I hope we see him. Let me know, you guys, if he comes in the chat and lets me know if he can hear us. But anyway, and hear me and see me. But I think that continuing to work on it, and I don't know if you have access to a therapist, but that would be ideal. And also group therapy, especially in situations like that, can be extremely healing because hearing from other people and knowing that we're not alone. Okay, he's here. Yay. Okay, cool. Yay. Thanks, everybody. So I would look into getting help that way and to keep working through the trauma because unfortunately, trauma can really take a while to get over, and it can feel like we're all over it, and then something like you're saying, like the language or something will trigger us, and we're like, oh my God, I'm not over it, and it's still here, and it still has that charge. So all that really means is that there's still some work to be done, and don't give up hope. That doesn't mean that you're not doing well or you're not moving forward. It just means that there are still some things that are bothering you, and that's okay, and that's all part of our process. Just give yourself the time to heal from all the things that happened to you that you had no control over. And it can be hard, but it gets better, and there is hope, and there are people out there to help, like me, or even like the the people in our community to help support during tough times, and a therapist and a group or any kind of treatment that you can get to get some extra professional support can really, really, really help. And if you can find any trauma specialists, I don't know if that exists where you are at the moment, but those are some great resources as well. And stay tuned because I will have a trauma specialist on the channel offering up her insights and helpful tips and things like that. So maybe that will help as well. Now, as far as becoming a psychologist, yay, that will be amazing, especially because I know that a lot of the Iranian cultures and a lot of the cultures in the Middle East don't really support therapy or mental health. And so the more people we have in that culture talking about it, the better. Yay. And the way to touch more people and help more people, there are so many ways. First of all, online, just like what I do. Even if you just did live streams here and there, that reaches a lot more people because we are really limited with the number of hours we can work, and no one can ever fill their hours, completely with clients back to back. That's exhausting for you, and it's also difficult to do schedule-wise. And then there's also speaking at schools. If they would allow it, it'd be great to speak at schools or create workbooks or write books. Anything like that is a great way to reach more people. There are also a lot of different apps that you can join and do more therapy, or group therapy is a way to reach more people per hour. There are so many ways for you to amplify your voice and get that across. And if you ever want to do a broadcast with me, once you're licensed, and we can talk about the differences in cultures and different things like that and whatever it is you want to specialize in, I would be happy to host you and have you on, because then that would give another voice to someone else, and it would help other people understand other situations, other cultures, and other people's process. And I think that that's all really powerful and great stuff. So stick with it. I'm glad that we got the connection working, even though for some reason you couldn't see me, but I could hear you and see you, and it looked like everybody else could hear you and see you as well. Thanks, Cynthia. So thank you, Arash, for coming on, and I hope that was really helpful, okay? Okay, we've only got a couple minutes left, you guys. Whew, okay.
Take a deep breath.
I know, that sounds like take a breath.
Some good coffee.
Right? Pew! It is some good coffee. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I'm not creative either. Oh, the painting, yeah. This pretty painting, like there. Pew, pew. Allie. It's coming at you, Allie. Oh, thanks, Emily. Allie sent it to me. I think I put it. Did I put that at the end of a video, Sean? I think we did.
I think that's.
I think it was our first art piece,
Tell
or
them what's
second
going on
art
with that,
piece.
by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell. Thanks, Sean, for the reminder. So at the end of Monday videos.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget which day it is and what video
We're
it is.
featuring Kenyans.
We're featuring Kenyan art. Whoop whoop. I get so much art from you guys, and it's beautiful. As you can see, you can't even see it all because it goes all the way over here and across. But I have, you all have sent me all of your wonderful art pieces, and that's actually why I like to do the live stream here, because then you can kind of see it all. Can you see it? Can you see it? Oh, wrong way. See? So, because you all send it to me, I've decided to showcase it at the end of my Monday video at the very end. So send your art to my P.O. box. It's in all of the descriptions of all of my videos.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. And you can send your art and we'll showcase you at the end. And then just put your first name or your handle or whatever you want me to say. I usually just put first names or Twitter handles. So that, thank you so much for sending me your art. And it's cool for people to see it all. Thanks, Emily. Anyway, so that is what that is. And that's why I've been putting the art at the end. Okay? Let me answer a few more questions. Emma, I'm sure I still have yours. Did you see it? There's a couple over here. I'm sure I do. Let me know what it looks like. I can tell you that, that I still have it. Okay.
This is a really busy broadcast. Up to like 2.
It is really busy. Friday's the day. I think Friday and Saturdays are best for you guys. Okay.
Ask them.
So what days are best? What days and times? Okay, Cynthia, you can ask your question. I will look for you. Okay. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. Whoop, whoop. So if you ask your question, I'll look for it and I will answer it. I'm just keep scrolling here. Fridays are best. Everybody's saying 6:30 p.m. Fridays are best. Okay, Sarah M. keeps asking, why am I getting triggered by watching you? I'm not sure. It depends on what your triggers are, and that's something that you're going to have to assess as things come up and find ways to calm yourself down. And if you are triggered, then stop watching. And I know that, it could be, there's probably a softer, nicer way to say that, but if you're being triggered, stop watching. That's not what I'm here for, okay? Let's see. Do we see, I'm looking for the person who asked the question, if they could ask something. You're not listening to me, Sean. I see you.
What are you looking for? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
I know, exactly.
What's up?
Somebody messaged me and said could they ask a question? I said yes.
Cynthia Bella, that's her.
Oh, she's
That's
on the
insane.
guest.
Yeah.
I see. I was looking, Cynthia, in the chat. I'm sorry, but I'll make you a guest. Are you ready?
I guess I was paying attention.
You kind of were, but we were on different pages. I gave you the look. Of course, Arash. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Oh, Sumo, I'll answer your question about Eugenia Cooney because everybody keeps asking about it. And I'll talk about it, but only here. I'm not going to do a video about it. I don't need to get any views off of someone struggling. That's not how I work. Oh, Cynthia, it doesn't look like it's connecting. Ugh, it's funny. Do you guys see that? Did it show Arash for a hot minute there? It does on mine. Okay, it shows whoever was last featured. When it doesn't connect, it shows them for a little minute. Okay, so Sumo is asking my thoughts about Eugenia Cooney. And everybody keeps wanting to know about it. And the truth of it is I don't know her. And that is why I'm just going to throw this out here. I'm never going to talk about someone's mental health when I don't know if they're actually struggling. Because A, I don't know them personally. B, they haven't actually publicly said that they're struggling. And C, I don't really know all of the things that are involved because there actually are a lot of medical conditions that can cause us to lose weight or cause us to look a certain way or to struggle with something or look like we're having this or that or whatever. And so therefore, thanks Jenny G. Therefore, I'm not going to talk about it because also I'd feel just icky like getting views or wanting to ride the wave of that conversation when it could be someone's health and someone's wellness. And so I don't really like to talk about it. So that's really, okay, so Eugenia Cooney's a person on YouTube. Don't look her up because it's just triggering for a lot of people. If you struggle with an eating disorder, she looks very, very thin and very sick, and she denies that she has an eating disorder, and people are kind of hassling her, and people actually signed a petition trying to get her kicked off YouTube. And so, yeah, that's just where I stand on it. I don't really want to talk about it because I don't know her, and I don't know her situation. And I think that people who are posting videos about her and like saying she needs to get help and stuff, should probably keep their mouth shut because we don't really know. Unless you're her doctor, her therapist, or whatever, I probably just wouldn't say anything. It's up to her to get the help that she needs anyways, right? We know that. We talked about that. Okay. 2 more questions and 1 more guest, and then we're done. No. Okay. 2 more questions, 1 more guest. I'm going to go into Patreon here. Okay. Let me see. Oh, this is a good question. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I'm reading them because I want to make sure that I can get through it. Okay, so Bailey is asking, how would you go about undoing bad therapy? I realize the extent of how simply bad the therapy and treatment I've gotten has been, and I think it's set me back from healing more than anything and has created many more problems. As a teenager, I went through religious shaming / conversion therapy and drug and alcohol rehab. When I've been a substance addict and had a troubled youth and residential living center. I've been through all these things, right? And now, as a 22-year-old college student, I'm functioning and I'm out of the system like I once was. However, I still find myself nearly constantly conflicted with what the truth is and what are my feelings. Even with little things, I have so many different versions of responses, and I feel like they're all therapy learned, and I don't know which voice is mine. Would more therapy be good or bad? Okay. Here's a couple of thoughts I have on that, because I know a lot of you have had bad experiences with therapy, because just like any other job, some people are just bad at their jobs, right? We've talked about this. Some people just suck at their jobs. So I think that to ease into it, it might be best to try group therapy. Now, I know many of you are like, ooh, I don't know. I think, yeah, conversion therapy, I don't know if I've heard some bad things, but I don't do it myself and I don't know that much about it, and people have asked and I'll have to look into it. But I think that we could try some group therapy first to kind of ease our way back into it. And that way it's actually more driven about the people in it, and you can slowly, hopefully, decipher what voice is yours, why, how you know that. You can get used to using your voice to express yourself and get more comfortable in the therapeutic process. And then let's say maybe 8 sessions in, I would encourage you to ask the group leader for some referrals to a therapist. And that would be how I would ease back in. Because yes, some therapists are going to suck at their job. I would encourage you to potentially try CBT therapy first, just because, and I know people are like, why do you say CBT therapy, not just CBT? Because try CBT first. Some people don't know what I'm talking about. So I always end with therapy, so you know. But try CBT first because it's more directive and more clear cut, and that can actually, they're supposed to focus on your thoughts and your actions, and so that can hopefully help you continue to make that connection from yourself and your thoughts. Oh, thanks, Jasmine. Boop, boop. Giving me applause, 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 applause. Okay, let's not do that. Lady Gaga, oh my goodness. But that's what I would do. And that's my advice for that, because I know that it's hard. I think Bailey. But that's how I ease back in. Okay, and then let me know. Thanks, Alexis. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, 1 more question here, and then we're going to guess someone. Are you ready? Okay, Okay, there's so many good questions, you guys. So many questions that I like. Here, Crystal is asking, do you have any tips on how to manage bad body image? Body image usually the cause of my eating disorder relapse, and it's so frustrating. Yes, so frustrating. And it's something that everybody battles with a little bit, I presume. The feelings about not liking our nose, our stomach, or whatever, feeling like we're too fat, too skinny, too awkward, too whatever. We all judge ourselves and we feel bad about ourselves. And I think, thanks, Sophie Joe. I almost said Jophie So. That's dyslexia. Thanks, Sam Crow. Okay, so the way that I would work on it is little by little. Like I talked about in yesterday's broadcast, I think it's on Tumblr. If any of you are watching this on YouTube and are like, where were those broadcasts? I put them on Tumblr so that YouTube wasn't bombarded with all of this. Because, sometimes not everybody wants to see them. But I would slowly change the way that you talk to yourself. And the first step of that is actually noticing what your self-talk is like. And then I would encourage you, I think I said this yesterday, write down maybe 5. I know there's so many more, write down, but the 5 most common things that you say to yourself that are negative. Are they, whether it's like, I'm too lazy, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too this, I'm too that. Write those things down. And then I'd encourage you to find ways to talk back to it. And if you really struggle to find the words, think, what would I say if my best friend said this to themselves? Or my you know, my boyfriend, girlfriend said that to themselves, or a family member, or whatever. Sometimes we have to think from a different perspective to get that across. So that's my actual advice for that. And it takes time, and we have to slowly change the conversation that we have with ourselves. And another thing we can do is actually writing a thank you letter to our body. If you can't negate those other things, you know, you can thank your feet for still working, and you breathing. You know, I've talked about that stuff too. I think the conversation that we actually have with ourselves is more important than we realize. Okay, now let's guest someone. Are we ready? Cynthia Bella, are you ready? I hope we can connect you. Oh, you don't think you're quite... Is it not coming through? I saw it, Cynthia. I see your message. Is it not coming through in the chat? I'm looking for it. I know sometimes, you guys, it's hard, but I'm going to get some water here, and hopefully we can connect with her. Oh, it went away. I'm not seeing it, Cynthia. I'm so sorry. Is there anybody who can ask? Are you going to ask the question in chat maybe, Cynthia? Do you want to try that? Or is it not coming? Ooh, Eugene from Singapore. Whoop, whoop. Okay, I'll try one more person to guest. This girl unknown, you said that you have a good connection. And then Cynthia, we can try again if you think it'll work. I think that's our second time, right? And it hasn't connected? I'm not sure. Let's see if this will connect.
Yay.
Hi.
Yeah.
Of
Okay.
all the times, right? That's like when
Alright.
you're waiting for someone to come to your house, and then you're like, now? I'm in the middle of
Alright.
something. So
My
what's your
dad knows
question,
I can
sweetheart?
take a while sometimes anyway. Basically,
Mhm.
my question was, or has been, is currently I'm fine. I've been fine for probably a month or so now, but I've
Okay.
had times where I've gone through stages of, it's not like binging and purging, it's like, I'll just purge when I eat anything, kind of thing. And I
Okay.
wanted to know,
So it's not even
like,
about binge,
and it's not like
just
it'll
not having
happen
it.
like, and it's not like it'll happen like all the time. It'll be like I'll do it like for a week, and then I could stop for like 2 months and then do it again. And I was wondering if this was like normal, or if, well, it's obviously not like normal, but like, yeah.
Yeah, but it is very normal in the whole recovery process. Because I would like venture to guess that those times when you find yourself purging everything, is she still with us? I'm just gonna keep talking, okay? Okay. I was like, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm just
Usually the
sorting
times
stuff
when we
out.
find
I
ourselves
need to go downstairs
engaging
and
in
get
other eating disorder behavior, it's because we actually are having a really stressful time. And their eating disorder is always kind of, until we really nip it in the bud, it's always going to be like our go-to coping skill. And so when things get really bad for us, we're going to try to find other ways to cope. And a lot of times we'll do that through eating disorder behaviors. And no, obviously it's not like normal to not want to have anything in your body, but my guess would be that when you're really struggling, that's still your go-to. And so a way to kind of combat that is making sure that we have a variety of coping skills available. Thanks, Alexis. And so having a variety of things that work for you, no matter what time of day, no matter where we are, is really important. And so something that you might want to do is set some time aside while you're doing well right now, and write down some things you can do in the middle of the night if the urges come, some things that you can do right after you eat if that's really stressful and you find your anxiety goes through the roof and you're like, oh my God, I got to get it out. And so doing some things like that, I think, would really help and help you be more prepared for when that happens again. Does that sound like doable?
Yeah.
Are we changing our clothes? Okay. So let me know how it goes. Give it a try. Try to come up with, I always like to have at least 5 that we can do during the day and 5 we can do at night. And then hopefully that helps you feel a little better and more in control when you have a tough time. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Okay, there you are. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, honey. Okay, Cynthia, we'll try one more time. We'll try to make you a guest one more time. And then I'll answer 2 more questions, and I got a skedaddle, guys. I got to film your Patreon videos. So we'll keep trying.
Hi.
Oh. Yay! Hooray! So what's your
My question is, I wanted to know if it's ever too late to report rapes from like years ago.
No, it's never too late. I know that each state, and this is a little out of my realm of knowledge, but each state and maybe even country and as a whole is going to have a statute of limitations on it. And I don't know, some are 5 years. I know some have no statute of limitations. Some people in the comments might tell you exactly what the limitations for them actually having legal ramifications to it. But I find for many of my clients who have reported it, even though, let's say, nothing happened legally, it was it helped them in the process, because then they felt like they got to speak up and have their voice heard and just let people know what happened. And I know that sometimes sounds really scary because it can be really hard, but it can also be really beneficial to your treatment for you to feel like, even though it might have been late in the game, I used my voice, I spoke up, and I told people what happened, and they listened to me. And that can be kind of healing. And so I would encourage you to, if you feel like strong enough and able enough, but I would also encourage you to make sure you're seeing a therapist too, so you have some extra support during that time, because it can be really hard, to go back through that trauma and to talk about it with someone, but report that son of a bitch. That's what I would do.
Okay. And I have a hard time. I was diagnosed with PTSD, and I have a hard time accepting that, because I always associated PTSD with like people that go to like war and stuff like that. So I have a hard time accepting that diagnosis.
Yeah, and I think it's very common. And I actually got some heat for my CPTSD video because I mentioned war, and they're like, you didn't mention childhood abuse enough, or rape, or any of that enough. And the truth of it is that in order for us to have PTSD, all that has to happen is we have to fear for our life. And that's really it. We have to just be traumatized, and we can have the PTSD response. People always associate it with war, but that's such an extreme version. And that actually is usually like complex PTSD, because it's something that happens over and over and over and over. But people can get PTSD, in truth, from witnessing a really crazy and scary car accident, or being in a car accident, or seeing something happen to someone else. So it doesn't even have to actually happen to us, let alone if we're sexually assaulted or raped or in any way abused. PTSD is more common actually for people that aren't at war. I mean, obviously people who go to war and are in combat usually come back with PTSD, but the percentages of people who have PTSD who never went to war is very high. So maybe just consider some of the things that happened and how scared you were. That's really where the PTSD comes from. And it's okay, something bad happened, and having a trauma response is just your body's way of trying to deal with it, But give yourself time to let it sink in. We don't have to accept our diagnoses right away. We can't be like, yes, that's it. And that makes sense. Sometimes it's okay to be like, I just don't feel like that's me. And maybe consider why. Why don't I feel like that's me? And then what parts do I say, yeah, I did have that. I was really scared. I did fear for my life. This was bad. Maybe that's why that's happening. Because you don't have to call it PTSD if you don't want to. It's just a label, and we don't have to accept it. But something that may help is considering the symptoms and being able to accept that is your experience, and owning what your own original experience is, and knowing that there's help available.
Okay.
But give it time. Getting a diagnosis can be really hard, and it's not something we have to just accept. But report them, okay? It's never too late. I think it's good no matter what. I know it's hard, but your voice deserves to be heard, okay?
Okay.
I'm glad you were able to get through. Thanks for being patient and trying with me.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye, Cynthia.
Bye.
Oh, I love all you guys. It's actually been really fun doing live streams because I feel like I get to hang out with you guys. Is that weird? Am I weird? I think I might be weird. Okay, you guys, I gotta go. We're way over time, and I gotta film the Patreon videos. And then it's Friday, and I got stuff to do. So I love you all. I will try to answer more of the questions on Patreon. I'll try to get through them as much as I can, but it'll probably be tomorrow. So hang in there. Don't give up on me. I'm still with you. Thanks, Cynthia. And thank you all for being so patient and trying with me.
Continue to chat over at KatiMorton.com on the
Oh, yeah. And you can chat. If you're having a fun time chatting, you can chat over on KatiMorton.com. And I will let you know when the next one is. I'll tweet it. So follow me on Twitter. And thanks, Kimmy. So I'll let you know on Twitter because I was going to maybe do one tomorrow, but I'm not sure what my day holds. So follow me on Twitter. Look for that. I'll let you know. And it sounds like Fridays and Saturdays might be better. So I might not do as many as I'm doing each week. I might just do one Friday and Saturday for a while. And we'll do one of each because I know a lot of you have work commitments and things during the week. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. But so yeah, I'll keep you posted. Follow me on Twitter for all of that. I'll get on Patreon tomorrow, answer as many of your questions as I can. And what else is there? Anything else? Have a wonderful weekend. Oh yeah. Oh, and if you want to keep chatting, you can chat on the website. And
maybe sing It's Finally Friday.
I already did.
Oh, did you?
Don't put the song on.
No, I'm not gonna put the song on.
You drive me crazy with that song, I tell you guys. But yes. So anyway, I will keep you posted. Follow me on Twitter. I'll see you all soon. And I'll be posting the Patreon videos. I'm going to edit them tonight, and I'll try to get them out tomorrow. And yeah, so if you're one of my Patreon patrons in the $20 to $50 range, you get some videos. Yay! And I get all your questions answered. I love you all. Have a wonderful Friday. It's finally Friday. And then I don't know all the words, and I feel like such a fraud. But he says something like, I got $100 smoking in my billfold. Something, something, something. I don't know. He's got to go. And then he talks about wanting to hit the road a run and let the good times roll, roll, roll. And now it's off to you.
It's all about the hand gestures.
It is. It's all about the rolling.
Hand gestures quite
Oh, thanks, Pantalina. She's here. Whoop, whoop. So yeah, I will see you soon. Bye.